All right, good afternoon. We are going to address the officer-involved shooting first, and then the reinstatement of Officer Diaz. We're going to kind of take a break in between. First, again, remember that the Inspector General's office has taken over the officer-involved shooting case. I'm going to give you what I can give you. At approximately 05:34 hours at 719 Grand Avenue, apartment 105 in the city of New Haven, the West Haven Police Department, along with members of the DEA Drug Task Force and the and New Haven officers were executing a drug search warrant at that location. Officers encountered shots being fired at them. They returned fire. 2 West Haven officers were struck by gunfire. The suspect was eventually struck and succumbed to their injuries. The 2 West Haven officers were treated at Yale New Haven Hospital. I know one's been released. I went to go see them. There was one still there. He might be released by now, too. I believe they were both struck in the leg area. This was a long scene. It wasn't just shots fired and it was over. There was shots fired and an officer struck. Then there was time in between. He was barricaded in a room. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but then there was more shots fired. So it was clear that this suspect was not going to retreat peacefully. There was attempts to speak to him. Anything else, more information will be revealed. In 5 days, the Inspector General will release the body camera footage, the name of the suspect, and everything else. So just to add some more information on that, there was a 32-year-old female who is registered to that apartment and an 8-year-old female who was registered to that apartment. There was a 52-year-old grandfather there as well. And after the shots were exchanged, it was the officers' first priority to get the other people safely out of the apartment, which was extremely challenging, and you'll see that down the road. I wanted to thank Acting Special Agent in Charge Steve Bello from the DEA, who's here with me, and we have the mayor, of course, and the CAO, Justin McCarthy. Again, the warrant was a state search warrant signed by the West Haven Police Department. West Haven notified us that they were going to do that warrant. We sent 2 officers to assist with that warrant, and again, the DEA task force assisted with that warrant. I'm going to let the mayor speak, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, not too much to add from what the chief shared, but obviously the Inspector General's office, like in the other recent officer-involved shooting case, has taken over the investigation, and so we're limited as to what we can share, and we'll be, of course, fully cooperating with the Inspector General's office. I did want to underscore a couple of things. First of all, thank God the officers weren't more severely injured. You get a sense when these types of things happen of just how much risk officers in our partner agencies, in today's case the DEA, put themselves in for the safety of our community and to hold people that are very, very dangerous accountable. And while the 2 officers were shot, I commend them for their bravery, and thank God they were not more severely injured, and other people that were involved were not more severely injured. And then the other thing is, thank goodness that the family, the other members of the family are okay. The chief and I spoke with the grandfather and the 8-year-old girl this morning, and you can just imagine how terrified they were inside that building, and I'm grateful that they're okay. And we offered them the supports this morning, as particularly the young girl, to make sure that they have the kind of mental health supports and other supports they need during what is a very difficult time. And finally, just want to thank all the members of the New Haven Police Department and our partner agencies, Special Agent Bell and others, for all of your collaboration and support here. Chief.
Yes, and again, the State's Attorney's Office responded immediately, the Inspector General's Office responded immediately, and we appreciate all of them. I can't get into too much detail, but the story that is coming from that scenario is the officers did heroic things to get that grandfather and that 8-year-old safely out of that building. So we're really proud of the officers' efforts, It's unfortunately that the suspect succumbed to his injuries, but it's clear from the initial investigation that he was firing at officers and even was given an attempt to talk to him, and that failed. Any questions on that?
Are you able to share what this arrest warrant actually was?
It was a search warrant for narcotics.
A search warrant for narcotics. Is there any indication this was a woman's apartment, what the connection was between him and her that brought officers to that unit specifically?
Yeah, the female occupant is registered at that location. We believe there's some kind of relationship there.
What was she injured? Was the 32-year-old woman injured
No.
as well? Were all these people present? Was the 8-year-old, the 32-year-old, and the grandfather all present?
Yes.
And what else can you say about the person who died? How old was he? Was he from New Haven? What's his name?
I can't really reveal that. That's the Inspector General's job. I did just talk to them and confirm that they will be releasing the name. They still haven't. There's a lot of work to do, right? It just happened. They have notifications to be made. We're familiar with the individual, has a criminal history. That's all I could say.
So you can't say age or where he's from. I mean, was he an adult?
Yeah, 35-year-old.
35 from New Haven.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
We're also hearing that there could have been a second scene this morning, possibly in the Hill.
So there was an execution of another search warrant at 669 Washington Avenue in the Hill. That went off smoothly, and that was also for narcotics.
Was this connected?
I wouldn't say connected. It's just the groups were doing narcotic search warrants.
Did the two New Haven police officers who were present, did they fire their weapons?
Preliminarily, we don't believe so, but I don't want to comment too early. That's the Inspector General's job.
Does this task force have any connection to the same task force with the other officer-involved shooting near the West Haven car wash?
No, it's not the same task force.
Were the people evacuated after the shots were fired, or was it?
Yes, because the officers went to the door, knocked and announced, made entry, and then the shots began.
And you said both of the injured officers work for the West Haven Police Department?
Yes. And I've spoken to them both. They seem to be doing better, and one is definitely released. The other one might be released this afternoon.
To share, I mean, I know you sent two officers. West Haven was obviously there. The DEA task force. Were there any other officers from other local departments?
Yeah, Waterbury, Meriden, State Police. Am I missing any? I think that's it.
And they were all there at the time that this warrant was executed?
Yes.
Are the two West Haven officers members of the Violent Crimes Task Force?
No, and this wasn't the Violent Crimes Task Force.